Hi, welcome back. We'll come and sit down on the mat for a moment just to settle in. So finding your sit bones using the cushion or a block, bolster, any that's comfortable for you. I'm going to use a block. So do grab hold of a block and a strap if you want to before you start, if you have one. Not necessary if you don't, absolutely fine. Sitting on the block just to bring the hips forward gently and let the knees fall to the sides. Bring the palms into the lap, thumbs together, and just allow the palms to face the ceiling as you drop the shoulders. Bring attention to the spine. So just making sure your head and your neck are straight, in line with the shoulders. Focusing now inwards towards the breath. Inhaling and exhaling for a 4 count, and just pausing at the top of the inhale and at the bottom of the exhale. Try to bring yourself to the present moment. Try to let go of anything that just keeps coming back into the mind. If it does, just allow it just to go and do not judge. Stay in there for a few moments longer if you want to. Or coming into child's pose, we'll do the wide legged variety, bringing the knees to the wide edges of the mat. Big toes together. Just roll the shoulders back gently and then bring the hands to the mat. As you release the chest down over the mat, use the block underneath the glutes if you want to, and just go to where it's comfortable, spreading out the palms. And releasing the chest low. So either seated or child's pose, and then come up to all fours to tabletop position. Knees directly under hips, wrists directly under shoulders. As you take the tailbone up towards the ceiling, you find a smooth arch coming into the spine as you gaze towards the ceiling. And then exhale. And release the crown of the head. Chin comes in towards the chest. Find that roundness in the spine as you take the tummy back towards the spine. And a couple more, flowing in your time with your breath. Releasing the neck. And the last one, maybe tucking the toes under. So you're ready to come into your downward facing dog. Rooting through the palms, taking the glutes back gently towards the heels, releasing the knees up, taking the chest back to the thighs, and then starting to take the hips up nice and high. Maybe walking one knee at a time. Heel coming down gently towards the mat. Taking 5 breaths here in your downward facing dog. Raising up as you inhale onto the balls of the feet. And then exhaling and releasing the heels down, trying to keep the hips nice and high. As you roll the weight forward, coming onto the balls of the feet, roll yourself into plank position. Don't let the lower back sag too much, trying to find a nice straight spine. And then bring the knees down. Just let the toes float as you clip the elbows and lower the chest. Sweep the chin and bring the chest forward as you lower the feet to the floor. Rise up into cobra. Tucking toes under. Exhaling Roots back towards heels and inhaling back with the knees and coming up into your downward facing dog. Rolling onto the balls of the feet once more, over into your plank position. Bringing the forearms down into forearm plank. And holding it there. Releasing the knees down to the mat. And releasing slowly with the chest down into Sphinx pose. Forearms onto the mat. Drop those shoulders. Release. And take the arms forward. So coming back so you can see, as you take the arms forward, you're just going to inhale up with one arm opposite leg. So left arm, right leg, right arm, left leg. Release down. And as you bring the arms underneath those shoulders, just start to inhale up into low cobra. Drop the shoulders or maybe roll them back onto the back. As you release the chest down, let the legs rise gently. Releasing down, taking the arms wide. Turning the head to the side, releasing the neck. One way and then the other. And then sweeping the arms back. Just push into the tops of the hands for a moment. Push in and activate those legs. And then just see if you can inhale up with the shoulders. As you release down, take fists and one at a time, place them under those hips. You might want to just come up onto the balls of the feet so you can move shoulder blades slightly in towards each other. As you lower back down, soft part of the chin onto the mat. As you inhale, see if you can raise up with the legs. Exhale, release. Again, if you just want to turn through the neck, do so. Interlace the hands and try and work into getting the shoulders back towards each other. So this time as you inhale, you're going to try and rise up with the legs and the arms, inhaling onto the hips. And slowly release. Coming up. Taking one leg through between the hands. And just starting to lunge into that front leg. So you can feel a stretch into the back hip flexor. And then inhale up into your crescent moon. Hands together. Let's just see if you can gaze up. As the hands come down, tuck back toes and bring the knee up. And then one at a time, just take elbow onto opposite knee and see if you can find a side twist. Just looking towards the top elbow. Slowly coming back to your centre and stepping back into plank. Chaturanga Dandasana will bring the knees down and then the chest if it's easier. Otherwise, clipping those elbows, lowering down and staying there. And then slowly bringing the tops of the feet to the mat. Placing the palms underneath the shoulders, pushing up, pushing into the tops of the feet now. And the knees rise as the gaze does, up to upward facing dog. And roll over the tops of the feet to your downward facing dog. Up onto the balls of the feet, rolling forward, knees come down, opposite leg comes through. And start to lunge into that back hip flexor, into your crescent moon. Hands together, just see if you can look up so you get a little bit of a back bend. Taking the hands down, tucking the back toes, bringing that knee up. Then see if you can get opposite elbow into knee once more. Use the balance, rooting into the soles of the feet, just taking a gaze towards the top elbow. Releasing, plank pose, roll gently into the palms, clip the elbows, lower down, untuck and lower all the way, bend into the knees. Stay here if it's too much, we'll come into Sphinx and lower, Sphinx and lower. If you want to try bow, take the hands all the way around to the tops of the feet. Retract the shoulders towards each other gently. Opening into the chest. Inhale and start to raise those knees. Raise the chest. Slowly release. Take the toes out to the edges of the mat and just rest the arms, rest the head on the forearms. And as you release up, come to a seat. Finding the boat, Navasana. So first of all, float the toes. One at a time, you can just straighten into the legs. Just keep continuing with this. Or see if you can find half boat with the shins parallel to the mat. So when you're doing this, really engage the core, tummy towards spine. Think of that straight spine. And wherever you want to be, just see if you can find your boat. As you release the feet back down, you're going to slowly bring those heels in towards the glutes and roll slowly down. As you bring them a little bit closer, you might be able to walk them in close enough. You may not walk them in that close, just to see if you can take hold of the ankles. And then grounding into the soles of the feet. Going to inhale and start to raise up through the glutes. Walk the shoulder blades a little bit towards each other. Keep those knees in line and come into bridge. Interlace the hands underneath the spine if you want more of a stretch into the shoulders, and walk those shoulders, open the chest a bit more. When you're ready to release, slowly release the spine back to the mat. And then maybe bring those, come forward so you can see, bring those knees in towards the chest. Have a little rock from side to side. If you want to rock a little bit more on the spine, you can just Have a little rock, just massage that spine. And come up into one more bridge if you want to. Or if you feel like just taking these one side and then the other as you inhale through centre and exhale to the side, do that too. So either one more bridge or just taking knees across one way and gaze into the opposite palm. Then bring those knees into the chest, wherever you are now. Bring those knees in. Straighten into one leg and hold on to the opposite shin and let the heel float down as you flex the toes. Knee out towards the side of the rib cage and bring it back when relieving pose. Flex toes to the ceiling. Taking it the opposite way. And as you bring both knees in towards the body, take the hands to the side of the hips, press into the palms or the finger pads, and see if you can slowly bring those knees in towards the forehead. Take the weight back into the shoulders and maybe find plow pose. Wide leg plow pose if you want to. Or ear pressure pose, so bring the inner knees in towards the ears. When you're ready, bring the knees in towards the forehead and slowly roll back down. Roll over to one side now. And when you're ready, just look to the floor and find yourself back into Sukhasana, into seated pose. Lining up the heels and letting the knees come down, sitting on the block if you want to. Sitting tall through the spine, finding those sit bones, so head, neck, shoulders are in a nice straight line. Bring your attention, focusing back onto the breath. So as the mind starts to wander off, allow it just to recognise where it's gone, but then bring yourself back to the present moment and to the breath, to the inhale breath, out, out breath. Sit here as long as you want to, relaxing those shoulders from the ears. And with every breath, every exhale, just releasing that little bit deeper down into the mat, into the sit bones. So that you feel softening of the body. Not compromising the straightness of the spine, just the softening, the relaxing feel, and the quality of the breath. And the hands to prayer. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. Namaste.